My wife really wanted to go scuba diving at the Great Barrier Reef for our honeymoon. She'd actually gotten certified in diving. I literally could not swim to save my life. But it was going to be okay. I had 9 months before this trip to learn how to swim. So I procrastinated for the first 8 months. And the month before the trip, I had the brilliant idea I was going to learn how to swim from YouTube. I was on a business trip at the time too, so I really needed a teacher that could travel with me. I got back to my hotel room one night. I watched hours of videos on how to breathe, how to float, how to time your strokes with the breathing. I had my theory down. So the next morning at 6 a.m., I went up to that rooftop pool. I got in the water. I made eye contact with the lifeguards. And the lifeguards was a team of 5 pigeons sitting on the side of the pool. I took a deep breath. I let go of my fear, and I descended under the water. And I exhaled, and I came back up. Breathe in, go down. Breathe out, come up. I practiced my breathing for a couple days. I progressed on to floating. By the end of 2 weeks, believe it or not, I was swimming. I could swim half the length of the Marriott pool. I was so ready for this scuba diving trip. So we get on the boat, we get out there for our trip. We start easy. We're going to start with snorkeling first, right? And so I put on the gear. I jump off the boat. So proud of myself. I learned how to swim for this trip. I swim 10 feet from that boat, and my brain finally clicks and says, "You are going to die." This is how it all ends. And I panic. I scramble. I get back on that boat. I climb up. I take everything off. I tell the crew. I tell my wife. I tell everyone else on the boat. I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to stay on this boat. I'm going to read my book for the next 2 days. We're here for my wife. She's happy. She's going to dive. I'm happy that she's happy. Let's do this. And the crew sits me down and really tries to convince me that scuba diving is actually better than snorkeling, and I'm going to love it. And I tell them, you're crazy. And somehow 30 minutes later, I'm standing on the edge of the boat again in a wetsuit with my scuba diving gear. And I take a deep breath, I let go of my fear, and I let myself be pushed off the side of the boat. I plunge into the coral sea, and I open my eyes, even myself out, and I'm okay. And it's a miracle. I can do whatever I want. I'm in this protective, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. The rest of the people come down, we descend, and the guide is so kind. He's dragging me around to look at the different things, because let's be honest, I can't swim. And sometimes he'll leave me to go guide the others, and I'm just floating there, slowly turning upside down. I'm like an underwater astronaut, enchanted by the underwater marine life, the colors, the sound of peace under the ocean. I go on another dive that afternoon. I hand over my money for the night dive. We go down and brush the sand, and I see the little glowy things like the movies. And if I hadn't taken that leap of faith, I would have missed out on an entire new world of wonder, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But I think back to that experience and ask myself what I was really afraid of as I was trying to learn how to swim, something that everyone around me seemed to have done when they were a child. How could I, overcome that embarrassment and go and learn something? I decided and convinced myself my time to properly learn how to swim had just passed. And so I waited for 8 months and then went to YouTube and talked to the pigeons. I figured out it wasn't the danger that I was afraid of. The pigeons were watching over me. I was fine. So I got home from that trip. I took one more breath, and I finally let go of my truest fear. And I signed up for adult swim lessons at the local Y.